Hello, this is Chris.
Chris McLennen.
Yes.
This is Jay Michaels.
Hi, how are you?
How did you know that? Fine, and you?
I could tell by your voice. I could almost see the mustache.
Well, if I'm on the line, then you are on the air. Or in this case, if my mustache is on the line, then you are on the air.
Well, then it's a pleasure to be on the air with you and your mustache.
You are most kind. You must be up to your nose in monsters right about now.
Oh, just about true. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. The coolest thing this weekend was I got Mick Foley, the WWE hardcore legend, to do a promo for the Phoenix FearCON for me.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's great. Tell our listeners about Phoenix FearCON.
Oh, Phoenix FearCON is the total event of the year here this year. It's a horror film festival and convention. It takes place over 2 days, starting this week, October 18th, 19th. We've got screenings of films that have never before been seen, mostly independent shorts and some features. And this year we have a premiere, never been seen in the state of Arizona, of a movie called She Never Died, which looks fantastic. It's just beautiful. So they get to see these films that nobody ever gets to see. We also have panel discussions. We have workshops. This year we have a zombie fashion show. We've got Aurelio. We've got Aurelio Voltaire, who hasn't been to FearCon in 10 years, and he's a fantastic performer. So he'll be on stage as the headliner on Saturday night.
He's well known, isn't he?
Celebrities.
He's well known,
very well known. Yeah, he's kind of like this renaissance man of performers.
I thought so, because when I was circulating some stuff on FearCon, I had a couple people click there and say, "Oh, Voltaire, that's great." So yeah, he has quite the following. So you're lucky to have him there. That's great.
Yeah, he was at FearCon about 10 years ago, and so he and I share a lot of like the same kind of likes and dislikes, and he's a filmmaker. He makes these really good stop motion animation films, and he has a whole line of things that he makes himself, and he's a fantastic performer. And if anybody likes Star Wars and Star Trek, he has a whole album of parodies of both of those that are just fabulous. Yeah.
That's like the in thing now with Harry Potter and 50 Shades of whatever, and there's so many parables out there. Oh, it's so many parodies. It's great. So you're in charge of this whole thing, yes?
Yeah, well, my husband and I started in 2006, and we've been doing it. We don't do it every year because it's seriously a hardcore event that takes a lot out of us, so we do it pretty much every other year. This year we have the 50th anniversary of a movie that was a cult thing called I Drink Your Blood. And so we're going to screen that movie, and then we've got the 4 people that are left alive that starred in it that are going to be here. So it'll be their 50th anniversary reunion, and so they'll be there to do Q&A and autographs and photo ops with their fans, and so that'll be fun for them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that was part of the double feature when it first came out. I Drink Your Blood, I Eat Your Skin.
I Eat Your Skin and I Drink Your Blood. Yeah, and it's like we were screening it the other day to test the DVD, make sure that it worked, and it's just I watched it again and I was like, this movie is hardcore, seriously. And then Jim and I are sitting there going, don't worry, no real rats were used, these are stunt rats. But it was the 60s. They didn't care. So it was just, it's just like a lot of gore, a lot of horror. And it was one of the few, I think one of the first movies, I think at that time, to receive an X rating based on violence rather than nudity.
Really?
Yeah.
That was done in the 50s a great deal, actually, when Hammer Films first came to New York. A lot of rating services, because back then to see cleavage and fangs was a little too much for our sensibilities.
It was just, especially a lot of the Hammer films had a lot of bizarre gore, but they also had like a ton of sex in them. So it was just, I can see,
The originals, ironically, did too. Oh, well, yeah, Hammer films, great.
Yeah.
Now, you say we. You say we. Who's the we?
We, as my husband and I, we founded it, Jim and I, and it's like we used to go to film festivals all the time, and over the years, because we ran a magazine, it was a fanzine called Trash City, and we used to do film festival reviews, any kind of pop culture thing, we would review it, and so we were invited to all these festivals, and at each festival, I started making a list. If I had a film festival, I would have this, or I have this, because I kept getting bored at these film festivals. Like, why is it just films? Why can't we have other things? So ours is like a whole experience. Plus, we make the trophies for the film festival, which are super cool.
I saw those trophies. They're gorgeous.
Thank you. And then the winners of our film festival also, which is rare in festivals, they get a distribution contract for global distribution of their movies. If they
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now you started this in 2006.
Yeah. In this teeny tiny little art gallery called the Paper Heart, which is now defunct, but it was like, the place held like 80 people, and like 150 people showed up. So we knew we had something at that point that people were interested in.
I think you had more than you imagined, because I'm trying to remember, there are a lot of film festivals out there now that are part of conventions, and I have a feeling you started it all.
It's possible. It's possible because we just wanted to have more. We wanted it to be a festival, but we wanted it to be kind of an experience that people wouldn't forget. And so the people don't forget it, the filmmakers don't forget it, because they have this opportunity, which they'll never get.
A distribution contract, that's gorgeous. Because I'm thinking there's a whole bunch of horror film festivals in New Jersey that are part of conventions, but I don't think they're as old as yours. So I think you're a founder when you get right down to it.
We were there we're the old school, but we just really loved just adding like new things. This year we've had the fashion show before, but this year when we open our bar, it's going to be all the drinks in blood bags, so that's different.
I thought that was hilarious.
And we've got a lot of cosplayers coming, which is cool. That's like the convention aspect, and we've got a lot of vendors that are going to be here. We also support the artist community, so there's a ton of artists. And one of the artists who does all of his work in metal made our VIP badges. Looks like a horrific Alice in Wonderland image that he created our VIP badges out of metal, and they're gorgeous.
That's so cool! I can't wait to see that. Oh, that's great. Now you're at Sun Studios, yes? It's going to be in the gorgeous Sun Studios.
The second time we're doing the FearCON at the gorgeous Sun Studios. Of all the places that we've been to, this one is the most perfect for us because it has the 2 sound stages that we can use. It's got a perfect screening theater in here, and it's got lots of space for our vendors and lots of space for the guests to come running around and take pictures. Outside, we're going to have all the display cars. So we've got the car from Supernatural, the Ghostbuster vehicle, the Umbrella Corporation, the Raccoon City cars. A zombie blood car is coming this year that is going to be set up with a huge blood bag, I guess, next to it, that anybody wants to come and bloody up the car is welcome to do it. So that'll be a big photo op.
Oh, that's so funny. This sounds like it's absolutely gorgeous. Now you say it's the second year. How by the fact you're doing it again?
It's the second time.
The second time.
Studios, yeah.
How was it the first time?
We've had it in tons of other it was pretty good the first time here. I mean, there were a lot of logistical problems because it was new and different, and we had a different team. But it's still me. I always look at things from behind the scenes, so I see all the problems. But the people that come to the event don't see that, and my biggest concern is everyone going to be happy when they're here? So we got a lot of really positive feedback from the fans who attended, from the vendors who were here, the performers that were here, and we've got the Agents of Lust performing this year who do the grinding and the fire, and we put him outside because now he told me that he can spray a fire stream that's about 35 feet from his mouth.
Gosh.
Yeah, so we want to make sure everybody has a good time. So the first time, we kind of needed to work out some bugs, but nobody noticed, which is great. And this year, I think we've got all the bugs and all the kinks worked out.
What made you do it? I've been part of like theater festivals that have nearly killed me. So I'm trying to imagine a film festival and convention. What made you do it? What made you say, I think I'm going to go on a suicide run right now?
Right. Well, which is why we don't do it every year. But it's originally, as I said, when we had Trash City Magazine, and we used to get invited to all these film festivals, and they were boring to me. So, yes, we watch the films. Yes, they're new. Yes, they're different. But it never went anywhere from there. So that I started making a list at every festival that we went to. If I had a festival, I would have this, or I would have this, and I would have this. When the list went down to about 15 items, Jim was like, and Darren, here at Sun Studios, because I've known Darren for all going on 20 years. The guy who owns Sun Studios owned a company called Brain Damage Films, which is all horror movies, and he told me, why don't you do a festival that's horror festival, and he came up with the name Phoenix Fear Film Festival, so PFFF. So we did it using all of my list of items. I want all of these things, and that's why we had it in a very small gallery who let us do it there, and it looked like it was definitely going to work for us. So we went from there. We said, yeah, well, let's take a year off and plan it a little better. And then after that, we went to, I want to say, Chandler Cinemas, which is another big movie theater. Let us do it there a couple of times. And then the Madcap Theaters let us do it here in Tempe. One year in Tempe at the Madcap Theaters, it was during the Rapture, that year that they said that May 21st was going to be the Rapture. Everybody was going to be left behind.
I remember it well, yes.
Anyway, we had all of our volunteers put a whole bunch of clothing out on Mill Avenue, like as if somebody disappeared holding the flyer to FearCON in their hands. So it's all these like sets of clothes all along Mill Avenue holding the FearCON flyer on May 21st. That's when we had the event. So it's like I brought in a whole bunch of people, but it was just such a really good gimmick. It was awesome.
That's really, we have so many people coming, but unfortunately they've all been sucked up by the rapid.
They've all been sucked up, and the only ones that stayed here are all the sinners who came to FearCON. Yeah.
Well, and that's quite the night, let me tell you. Now, Darren and Brain Damage Films, am I guessing that he has something to do with the distribution prize?
Well, he owns a few distribution companies. One of them is Accord International and Maximedia and Brain Damage Films. And so, yes, they are the sponsor of the FearCON for the distribution end of it. So whoever wins is offered a contract by Accord International for distribution. And also now that they launched Terror TV, they also have the opportunity to have their films put in as content on this Terror TV channel. That
is terrific. Oh, good. Then at some point I'll hopefully get a chance to meet them.
Oh my gosh, yes, yeah. If you could come down here for FearCON, then some of the filmmakers are actually going to be here for Q&A.
I wish I could. Now for the for us lowly folk, 5 hours by plane away from such a great event. Do we get? Is there a way we can see the films after the event? Is there It's definitely going to be on Terror TV, so we can see all these films then.
Well, all these films, no, which is why I say film festivals are such the winners. Yes, yeah. They will probably the winners will be on Terror TV. We're going to also any of the other really really good shorts will probably get offered some kind of content distribution thing on Terror TV because they're always looking for good content. And I tell you, independent filmmakers, they put their blood, sweat, and tears into their project, even knowing that there's a chance that nobody's ever going to see this project. So we try very, very hard to make sure that other people are going to get the opportunity to see it, not just the people that come to FearCON.
You guys are so amazing. I've been speaking to a lot of indie horror filmmakers on my podcast lately, and they're all saying the same thing. They had this amazing idea. It's telling a story. It's bringing a parable to life through this cautionary tale. And so many of them saying, I'm just happy that I can see it, that I did this film. The fact that you're giving them this leg up is amazing.
It's even better. Absolutely. It's even better that they have this opportunity to not only show it to the festival crowd, but possibly get it onto a horror channel that specializes in this type of film.
And that's the thing about Terror TV from my own meanderings onto the channel, because of course I'm a member.
Of course.
They're really brilliant because they're all indie filmmakers. These are people, so many of these horror channels, okay, I'm going to go and see Night of the Living Dead again. I'm going to see this again. There's so many of these almost public domain movies. You could see them anyway. You could see them on YouTube. What Terror TV seems to do is grab these indie filmmakers. So you're seeing something so rare, so exclusive. It's such a pleasure to sit there and watch those movies. I can't wait to see the ones that win those amazing trophies from your convention.
Yeah, our trophies are cool, but and all of the fans are really cool, and especially when the filmmakers come here, they are happy as all get out to be able to answer the questions directly from the fans.
Oh, that's great. That's great. It's such a validation to them also to have fans.
Yeah.
What's the wildest thing that ever now any kind of horror film or horror convention always has some wackiness in there somewhere. What's that one memory if someone said, well, what's the wackiest thing that ever happened? What happened to you?
I have quite a few really good ones, but the one that really stands out is we had a FearCON one year inside the Ultrastar Cinemas, which is a proper movie theater. It had 10 screens in there, but the theater would only give us 6 of their screens and the lobby area, and they kept two of their screening rooms for that week was the premiere of a thing called Transylvania Hotel, which is like a kids film.
Oh, yes.
And I told her, we'd stand that. Hey, yeah, we'll just keep our people separate from yours. So I'm like, fine. But that year I had the United Zombies of America and the Corpse Crew doing a whole entire zombie walk inside the theater, along with the Department of Zombie Defense, who are like these guys that dress up like SWAT team that are there to kill zombies.
Oh my gosh.
Their logo says if it's dead, we'll kill it. That's what, so they're set up in the lobby in a big perimeter. The zombies are walking through the hallway. I mean, and these people are masters of makeup, okay? So they're going through the hallway, and all these little kids are standing in line with their parents to see this Hotel Transylvania movie, and they're screaming with all these, like, creatures walking through the hallway, and then they come down the stairs into the lobby where the Department of Zombie Defense is waiting for them, and then they have this all-out war in the lobby in front of all these people, and they're freaking out. And then one of the zombies jumps on top of one of the Department of Zombie Defense guys, and she starts fighting him. So he falls to the floor. She falls to the floor. They kill her, and then he's like with his hand up in the air, help me, help me. And then all his own guys kill him. Because he's going to turn. And all these families are freaking out. And the manager suddenly comes up behind me very, very, very close to my ear, and she's screaming in my ear, what the hell is going on here? And I'm like, it's a horror thing. I told you that it was going to be like this. And I told her, she said a lot of people walked out. They had to refund their money. And I told her that I would reimburse her at the end of the night for however many people walked out. And at the end of the night, I went up to her and said, yeah, what do I owe you? And she said, nothing. And it was because there were so many people there that they had to restock their concessions twice.
Wow.
So that's where movies make their money.
Duh.
Yeah. So we restocked the concessions twice. You don't have to pay us. But that freaked everybody out in that place.
So because of you, there's about 1,000 children somewhere who are going through therapy.
Who are traumatized.
Because all they want to do is see a bloody little show.
Kids movie on the day of my event. Yeah. The other one was that they found they arrested a serial killer that they caught from a cold case at one of my FearCONs. He was there displaying his killer car, and then they arrested him based on his DNA from a cold case from like 20-something years ago, or more than that, like 30-something years ago, where some women were found decapitated in a park here in Scottsdale, and they ended up finding his DNA from a recent arrest where he was released, and put it together and arrested him at the FearCON.
I'm speechless at this. So you had a real monster at
a real monster at our monster event, yeah.
And he was caught there at the convention.
Well, I think they waited until the convention was over.
Oh, sure.
They were just watching him the whole time, and then they arrested him. I'm sure that he thought he was fine. Because these people, they have a mentality where they just, I just got away with it.
And it's 20 years, so I guess he thinks, okay, fine. Yeah. Who cares now?
Cares now. And
oh, my God.
It's over the way. And one of my friends were like, damn, how many serial killers do you know? Just sitting there, counting.
Oh, my gosh. I sit here arrogantly in New York and say, oh, well, I'm part of Comic-Con and Chiller Theater and all of this. So, no way, man. Oh, my God, what goes on in Arizona is bloody incredible.
Absolutely. It's just, you never know what you're going to run into. We always have a really good amount of people that come out that are just brilliant. I mean, it's just always the same people that come out here that everyone knows. It's like a very, very close-knit family of horror fans. And so they all come out here, and it's a great event. When I went to the city to get our permits, and they were all like, well, do you have security to check bags and check for weapons and pat them down and do this thing? And I'm like, what? That's never necessary at my event, but they're insisting that we check all that because I don't know why. I guess because of the way things are now.
Yeah.
That they're expecting that. Yeah.
I hate to say it, the real world is a lot more terrifying than anything you can muster.
Than our horror world. Exactly. It's strange, it's scary, but at the same time, I'm very confident that that the event is gonna be wonderful.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to hear all about it when I see you again in November. So if someone wants to make the trek out there, they go to FearCON.com.
Right.
And if someone wants to see the winners of these and they can't get out there, then they go to terrortv.com, yes?
Well, they can check on PhoenixFearCon.com. There will be, after the event, for the winners, we'll be sending out links to, like, their trailers and all that stuff. And actually, on our website, they can see trailers to a lot of the films. And then the other films eventually will probably work their way into Terror TV.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Any trailers or anything that you have, please feel free to send to me. I would love to spread the good word. And,
I will.
And who knows, there might be another serial killer in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's just strange. Yeah, and it's just like, it's always when they say, oh yeah, he was always very quiet. It was very nice. And these people that we knew were always like, oh yeah, very quiet, very nice.
Oh yeah, Son of Sam went to my high school. And that was the one thing they all said, oh, he was a lovely boy. Oh, good.
What school was that? Which is? Tell me your high school?
Christopher Columbus High School. That's right. You and I are Bronxites.
Yes. No, and I actually went to high school in Queens at Newtown. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Weird. A lot of strange people at that place.
Oh, my God. It's New York. Hello. It's the boroughs. Hello.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Anyway, yeah. So that's PhoenixFearCon.com is the website. It's a great event. If anyone is in the Arizona area, we're hooked up with the Town Suites Hotel. They give out special rates to the people that are attending FearCon.
It's funny. I was looking at my Facebook, and two buddies of mine right now are vacationing in Arizona. So I'm going to send them the link. And if they're around for a while, then they need to go to the place for Fear and Fright in Arizona.
Fear and Fright. Yep. This is the place.
Chris, it is a pleasure speaking to you as always. I look forward to seeing you again in November, and I want to hear all the joyous details and wild horror stories. Take it from there.
You will.
From Phoenix FearCon. Have a great time and
thank you.
And be well, and I'll make sure all our listeners know exactly how to get over there.
Appreciate you, Jay. You are the best. Thank you.
Anytime. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, take care.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.